I've said so many times before, you can heal while you build. You can become while you build. Because history is shaped by the women who are intentionally and internally transformed, not the ones who are just externally successful. Because true legacy is not measured by how many Atta girls you get, how many awards you get, how many standing ovations you get. True legacy is measured by who you are. Who you are when it's all said and done, who you are when you're no longer on this earth. That is your legacy. Hey, it's your girl Dorcas, and welcome back to the Dorcas Pittman podcast, where I'm empowering her to drop the cape and heal for real. If you found yourself here, you are in a space where courage, clarity, and strategy meets real healing. So, welcome to March. March is all about celebrating you, the woman who is building, the woman behind the brand, the woman who is dedicated to leaving a legacy not only for her family, but a legacy that will impact this earth long after you are gone. And so as we kick off Women History Month, I want to just take the time to talk about legacy. Talk about your legacy. And I want to do this because so many people think of legacy as the businesses that they're building, the brands that they're building, the money they're leaving for their kids and their grandkids. But in all honesty, the woman you are becoming is the legacy. The woman you are becoming is your legacy. And so many people miss that. So many people miss that most important fact because they believe that their legacy is the tangible things that they leave behind when they're no longer here on this earth. But as we celebrate the women who have built businesses, who have transformed this world, who have made an impact not only in your life but in the lives of so many women, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about legacy. Because Women's History Month is all about legacy. History is legacy. So I want you to ponder on the fact that the woman you're becoming is your legacy. Because legacy is not what you build, it is who you are while building it. Who you are while building, who you are becoming while building it. Because I've said so many times before, you can heal while you build, you can become while you build. Because history is shaped by the women who are intentionally and internally transformed, not the ones who are just externally successful. Because true legacy is not measured by how many Atta girls you get, how many awards you get, how many standing ovations you get. True legacy is measured by who you are. Who you are when it's all said and done, who you are when you're no longer on this earth. That is your legacy. Not how many people applauded you, not all the accolades, but who you are when it's all done. So you are the legacy. You will be the legacy. And that is why it is so important for you to understand the importance of you choosing to work on you just as much or even not more than you work on the business and the brand. If if you know me, if you've been following me for a while, I stress that you are the brand. You are the brand. So in order for you to leave a transformative legacy, You have to embody that transformation. You have to embody that transformation. As we are celebrating women, the businesses they've launched, the movements they've started, the barriers that they've broken, which all matter, the most important question was who they became while building it. Who are you becoming while building your brand, while you're launching the business and starting movements and breaking barriers professionally? That's the most important question. Who are you becoming while you are building? I have been building since 2020, building my business, building my brand. But I had to start building me first. I started building me, the woman I'm becoming, in 2019. It's coming up on 7 years. And I understand now more than ever what the real legacy is. The real legacy is me, who I became, who I'm becoming, who I am at my core. Who I am at my core. Yes, there was a point when I was more focused on launching the business, launching the program, all of those things. But when my focus was on that, I stopped becoming. My progression, my transformation, it stopped. It became stagnant because I was focused on the businesses and launching than I was on who I was becoming, who God wanted me to become, who the woman behind the brand truly is. That part. Because we can build something impressive. We can build the impressive businesses, the impressive logos. We can do all of those things that look good. That look good. That people like to look at. That are very impressive. That will stop you in your tracks. But if the woman who's doing the building is exhausted, is broken, is unhealed, that is going to translate in the legacy. That is going to translate in the legacy. I think about the grandmothers and the great grandmothers who broke their back, who never took time for self. Yes, they loved us unconditionally. Yes, they instilled some great wisdom in us. But the legacy that really kept growing was the legacy of putting self last, never taking care of self. That's the legacy that kept going. And that's not the legacy that I know I don't want to show my daughter. Baby, you can build anything you want to build, but you're gonna be tired. You're gonna be exhausted. You have to stay there. No, focus on the vessel, focus on the woman, and let you become the legacy and not just the things that you're building. That's the part. Because to be honest with you, you have women who have built amazing businesses, who have left their mark, but they were bitter. And they were disconnected to the woman who was doing the building. They were bitter, they were exhausted, they were disconnected. And that was the legacy that they left. I think about the woman, the business owner who passed away not too long ago. She kept saying, I'm going to rest and I'm going to rest and I'm going to rest. And she had a business. But you want to know the thing that stood out the most about all of that she died exhausted. That she pushed herself and she pushed herself and she died tired. People don't talk about her business. People don't know her they don't talk about the business. They talk about the fact that she kept going and going and going, and before she could rest, she died. Because honestly, I can't tell you what type of business she had. That's the legacy. Her legacy was that she worked herself to death. And that is not what God wants for me, and that's not what God wants for you. So the woman you are becoming while you're building, that is the legacy you're going to live. And if we're not careful and intentional, we'll spend our entire lives, whatever we have left, curating outcomes. Yes, trying to figure out the outcome, trying to put the outcome together, trying to manage the outcome, but we're neglecting the transformation of the woman that's building. We are meant to leave a legacy. We are meant to leave impact. We are meant to do that. But we get to decide what our legacy is going to be. Are we going to be so focused on the building and the execution of the plan and the movements and all of that? Or are we going to focus on the one who's doing the building? Because that is the legacy. That is the legacy. History is often shaped by women who are choosing to become. True history is shaped by the women who are choosing to become whole, choosing to become solid, that part. And not the ones who are just producing just to be visible. Not the ones who are just producing just to have fame. The ones who are choosing to become whole. The ones who are choosing to heal. That part. You want to make real history? Become whole. Let your character, who you are becoming, who you are at the essence of your being, be your legacy. Because who you are will determine the fruit you produce. And I'm not talking about the business fruit. I'm not talking about the financial fruit. I'm talking about the fruit. More importantly, the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The fruits of the Spirit. Because when you focus on the vessel, when you focus on becoming whole and intentionally transforming into who God created you to be, the fruits of the Spirit will be evident. They will be evident. Patience, love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That part. And we oftentimes want a quick fix. We oftentimes want that microwave success, that microwave legacy. But good fruit, it grows slowly. You have to wait for the fruit to grow on the tree. You have to wait for the grapes to grow on the vine. You have to cultivate the soil. You have to prune the all of the things. I'm not a gardener, but I know a little bit. And you can tell the fruit that grows in good soil, soil that has been cultivated, soil that has been nourished, soil that has been attended to, because of the health of the fruit. Because of the health of the fruit. And your fruit is evidence of who you're becoming. If you're bitter, you're going to bear bitter fruit. If you're angry, you're going to bear angry fruit. If you're resentful, you're going to bear resentful fruit. Because the fruit reveals the health of the tree, and you are the tree, you are the vessel, because the fruit comes from you. Yes. So here's the thing. While you're building, you can still become. Growth doesn't mean that you've arrived. It doesn't mean that you arrived and that you made it. Growth means that you're choosing every day to transform. Growth that you're choosing every day to continue to become everything that God created you to be. I've told you guys before, I'm going to leave this earth full and empty at the same time. Full because I've become and I've become everything that God put me on this earth to become. And empty because I would have done everything that God put me on this earth to do. Why? Because I'm choosing to become, and I'm choosing to focus more on becoming than building. And I understand that I can continue to lead while I'm still healing. I can still build while God is refining me. And I can still be an influencer and still be developing. They can go hand in hand. I have influenced other people to heal while God was still developing me at the same time. God has been refining me the entire process that I've been building this brand. That part. And the ultimate danger, the most dangerous part for so many people is that they pretend that they finished becoming. And I was once that person because I was so focused on the fact that I was healed, that God healed me from so much other stuff, that I stopped becoming. That I stopped becoming. Because I was focused on the fact, oh yeah, God healed me from all that. So now I can influence the people like I want to. I can just use that piece right there to build, to influence, to get what I want out of this. But that was a dangerous space for me to be in. I thank God that He revealed that to me so that I can stop pretending that I was who I was supposed to be. I had made it. No, God said, baby girl, you still got work to do. You are still becoming. And I need you to focus on becoming more than building. And I talked last week about presence over perfection. And so many people think that their legacy is wrapped up in perfection. That is wrapped up in perfection. But it really is wrapped up in you being present, and not only present, but progressing. What does progressing mean? That you're continuing to move forward, that you're continuing to grow, that you are continuing to mature. Mature spiritually, more importantly, mentally and emotionally is a byproduct of the spirit too. That is what it's all about. That is what your legacy is about. Because any day, all day, and twice on Sunday, fruit will always be greater than fame. Yes, you have a platform. Yes, you may have millions of followers. Yes, you may be speaking all over the world. But have you inspected the fruit lately? What is your fruit? Because the quality of the fruit is going to determine if the influence will sustain or not. That's why so many people, there's viral, they go viral and then there's nothing. Because the quality of the fruit that you continue to produce is what's going to sustain the influence that you have. Especially kingdom influence. And kingdom influence is the most important influence to have. What's the point of having influence in the world if you don't have influence in the kingdom? And the fruit that you bear will determine it. Determine how that influence will sustain or last over time. Because you can be a great leader but not show love. And love sustains leadership. Peace stabilizes the vision. Because if you don't have peace, the vision will fall apart. Self-control, it protects the assignment. Yes, because so many people have forfeited the assignment, have destroyed the assignment. I wouldn't say destroyed, because whatever, you get the picture. Because they lack self-control. They're quick to go off. They don't have self-control. And self-control is needed for the assignment. It's needed to carry out the assignment. There's been times when I wanted to pop off at some people, but I didn't, because I understand the importance of the assignment. And faithfulness. That's the part that builds trust. My clients know that when I say I'm going to do something, when I say that I'm in the trenches with them, and I show up faithfully, that's the part that builds the trust. That's the part that builds the trust. And yes, you can have visibility without fruit. You can keep showing up. You can be visible. But where's the fruit? Where's the true fruit? Not the gifts of the Spirit, the fruit of the Spirit. It's the fruit. Are the fruits of the Spirit evident in what you do? And how they become evident? By who you become. By who you become. And the reality is, you cannot have a sustainable legacy without good fruit. A sustainable legacy without good fruit. And one thing that I had to learn, and now I am so intentional about it, is that who you are at home matters more than who you are online, who you are on the stage, who you are in the pulpit, who you are anywhere. Because if I'm not showing the fruits of the Spirit in my house, what's the point of me showing the fruits of the Spirit anywhere else? That part. And I've seen so many leaders whose home fell apart. Oh, you are this way, but the people in your house never get to experience who you are out there. The people in your home don't have the same experience as the people that you come in contact with in the world, in ministry, in business. So I am determined that my home matters more. I will say no I don't care if you're paying me. If it disrupts the balance in my home, the answer is no. I'm not going to have more time for you than I have for the people in my house. Because my legacy is also in a mom, in a wife, in how I impact the people that I live with. What I'm showing them, showing them as I become. So your home life matters more than who you will ever be on the social media, on the interwebs, in the pulpit, in the boardroom, on the international stages. Because your legacy is lived experience. Your legacy is lived. Because the woman you are when no one is clapping for you, when no one is watching, when no one is validating you, that is the woman who's going to ultimately shape history. Because influence that outruns character eventually falls apart. It falls apart. It's not sustainable. That's why I say you are the woman. You are the legacy. Who you are becoming is the legacy. And in order for that legacy to be to sustain the test of time, you have to become exactly who God created you to be. And piggybacking off of what I said last week about presence, becoming requires presence. Becoming requires present. You have to be present in the moment in order to fully become the woman and leave the sustainable, lasting legacy that continues to bear good fruit. And that legacy, that sustainable legacy, will not become if you continue to perform. If you continue to perform. Because the truth about presence, again, it allows you to be corrected. It allows for conviction. It allows for growth, and it allows for maturity. And all of those things are ingredients of a sustainable legacy as well. When you choose to become, you can't rush the process. Just like as much as I want a piece of fruit off a tree that I just planted, I can't rush the process. It's a process for a reason. There has to be a transformation. It has to be formed. It has to be cultivated. You can't rush the process. You have to be present in the moment, not performing. Presence allows you to become. Presence allows you to become while you build a sustainable legacy that will yield great fruit long after you are gone. Long after you're gone. So this week, I want you to commit to becoming a woman of good fruit, not just a woman of results. You can have results, but it not yield good fruit. And I want you to understand that who you are at your core, who the essence of this woman building businesses, starting movements, who you are at your core, your character. That is your legacy. That is your legacy. Who you are becoming is your legacy. So this week, that's your affirmation. I am committed to becoming a woman of good fruit, not just a woman of results. Because my character and the essence of who I am at my core is my legacy. You're not just building a business, you are building a woman. You are not just leading people, you are cultivating fruit. History will remember what you built, but heaven, it measures who you become, who you became on this earth. So I don't want you to rush the becoming. Don't bypass the transformation. And don't trade your good fruit for fame. Because the woman you are becoming, that's the legacy. And you are her. You are healed, you are empowered, and you are restored. Let's build this legacy. Let's build this legacy. And happy Women's History Month. I'll talk to you next week. See you soon.